There are three different types of people. There are the elderly generation who remember what it's like to be Jewish before the war and also remember what it's like to be persecuted because they were Jewish. People, kind of in their 40s who are the parents of these children who know they're Jewish because their parents told them, but that's literally it. They don't know what it means. They don't know how to practice their Judaism. And then you've got the youth who used to not understand anything, but now are being empowered to regenerate their Judaism.
To come here and help build communities is hugely rewarding. A strong sense of community, I feel, is something we really take for granted in Great Britain. To come here and help give that sense of community to these kids and these people in general, it's unlike anything I could ever imagine really, and it's fantastic.
I love being a part of it, that it opens up a completely new insight into the world, to see how these people who live lives so different and so far removed from ours, and yet in some ways so similar to ours, how they relate to the same traditions that we have.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what we've got here, okay, and how it got here. Okay, so some of it we haven't even opened yet, but for example, this was an unwanted, end-of-line music system, so this was a donation. We always have a wig, and our theme is green this year, so green wigs. When I first came to Belarus, in all the community centres I found, they had these big plastic garden tables which can't fold up. So there's all this space that isn't being used properly, it's not multi-use. So we've been putting these in so they can use them for Sunday school, they can use them for educational reasons, they can use them as anything, but then they can fold them away and then they can use the room for something else. And suddenly the space becomes a much more usable community space.
Our community is more than 20 years, and during all this period, we have only this space. Small space without window, without central heating and without electricity point. This is new premises. This is only our first step in these premises, but this is a large step in our community life. During the last 3 years, the hope inside me, with each day, still stronger and stronger. Today, I believe.
This memorial stands on the territory of a former village called Khatyn that was completely destroyed and burned by the Nazis. Here it says that on the 22nd of March 1943, fascists have destroyed the village Khatyn with all the people who lived in the village. According to the statistics now, we know that every third Belarusian was killed during the Great Patriotic War when the Nazis invaded. And Belarus was the first to be invaded by the Nazis. The Nazis were destroying the village. They would come into the village, they would either shoot all the people in the village or get them into one big sort of house or any building that would fit all the people, and they would just lock it and burn the house together with people in the village, whether it's children, elderly, women, they didn't care. Each house has a bell and rings, so the bell rings in the memory of the people who are living in this house. And actually, interestingly enough, the Khatin just symbolizes all the villages that were burned down to the ground by Nazis. 186 of them were burned and never restored.
It's as if the country's just kind of, there's nothing left in it. It's no longer Soviet, it's not Western. It's just kind of fallen off even its own radar. This isn't a country where people live, they exist. They get up in the morning, they go to work, they come home from work, they go to work, they come home from work day after day.
This is incredibly special for me. This is what it was all about. It's just to help bring hope to the Jewish community here, where there was none before. And you suddenly see all this happy stuff going on and opening up of barriers and people sharing experiences and building friendships that aren't just for right now, they're for forever. The youth that have come here to show them how to do that can see how these guys have progressed, and that's very exciting. I love that. Pavel's, last year he came to camp and he couldn't wait to get back here. All year he's been talking about coming back. And they were telling me that there's quite a lot of young Jewish people in Gomel where he lives, but nothing's really happening. So we're going to try and see whether we can start some, young Jewish group there, so that Pavel, who's learning his skills, can then roll out something there.
So for example, do you have any rabbis that come and do any support work with you? Do you have support from the other religious organizations or non-religious organizations as the Jewish school in Gomel?
The majority of our country doesn't know this country exists. They either think it's part of Russia or they know it's separate. At a push, they might know that its capital is called Minsk. If you talk to people about Belarus, you get absolutely zero recognition. I wish they did know. I'd love to be able to kind of share this country with people, because it's an amazing, it's a fascinating and it's a wonderful place.
I've been waiting for this for a whole year, to see everyone here, to see happy faces. It's absolutely amazing. They brought a lot of nice things, not just in Polotsk where they started. They brought a lot of nice things to Bobrus, to my own community. Now we can see the changes, the good changes. We have a community center now. We have a camp here in a huge gym. We have a lot of children who can come and have amazing time. If you want to see what the Together plan actually made, you can come for 15 minutes to our camp and to see this atmosphere that it's absolutely amazing. Before we were just like a lonely community. We were alone, and now we have friends in Polotsk and we have friends in London. If we want to have a summer camp, we can stand up and make a summer camp for children. We can see that they're trying to show the community how to be independent, but how to be all together at the same time. I think that's great. We can see that every year there are more and more people who are interested in us, who really want to help us and who want to be a part of our team.
старости. Конечно, мы были одиноки, но до того времени, пока мы не встретили представителя этой организации Together, и когда у нас есть отдушина, у нас есть помощь, у нас есть внимание, забота, для нас это очень важно, и мы очень благодарны этим людям. Многое поменялось. Интересно то, что когда мне звонят наши узники, они спрашивают: ну ты встречалась с Артуром? Значит, они ждут, что от Артура, как представителя этой организации, что они увидят что-то хорошее. Вот. Вот это главное поменялось и основное в нашей жизни. Когда мы собираемся, даже когда мы получаем от этой организации гуманитарную помощь, мы собираемся, мы видим друг друга, мы общаемся, мы говорим. Это очень важная вещь.
Kept us awake with